Basic Latina podcast, an intimate conversation with friends about love, life, wellness, and everything in between. I am really giggling because I'm on my second glass of wine, and I'm here with my good friend Christine and her cousin, which she's just sitting here smiling at me. But today we're gonna talk to my good friend Christine about like a whole bunch of things. How our friendship started, her journey from becoming being a social worker to now being a flight attendant, and her kind of mission to give back to the community. And she's a very powerful Latina who is a woman of God and really cares about wanting to give back in many ways. But I will shut up so Christine can introduce herself.
Oh my God. Hello. My name is Christine. Hola, mi gente. Me llamo Christine. I'm here with our ladies. Just hanging out.
What's in your cup?
Tea.
Okay.
Green tea. That's it.
Guys, prior to this, we were having microphone issues, so I was having an attack, and I'm pretty sure that Christine's little prayer, and I told the devil he was not going to get me today.
It did.
It did. So yes, Christine.
It did.
You're of Puerto Rican descent.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you born and raised in Connecticut?
Nope, I was born in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Second
generation?
Yeah, I'm second generation here.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were also born in Puerto Rico. Or maybe I'm first. I don't know what I am.
Would you say that you are a citizen of the world?
Yeah. I'm from neither here nor there. I think we were talking about that at the coffee shop, where it's like, because I was raised in upstate New York. When I moved when I was 1, so I was raised in upstate New York, and then when I was 8, I moved to Connecticut.
Why'd you do that?
Then,
I'm just kidding.
I ask myself that all the time. Just 860 represent. Just kidding.
We love you.
There definitely is a need for progression in this state, though. Just saying.
I feel like this is a whole different episode.
Yeah, you're right. Let's not get on that topic. Anywho. So, what was the question?
I was just asking to introduce you, like for you to introduce yourself.
Oh, yeah. That's my introduction.
What do you do? Like, what are you into? What's your hobbies? What's your favorite color?
That's my introduction.
It was Christine's birthday yesterday, a big birthday, and she got the fucking nerve, yes, I can curse on my own podcast, to give all of her friends and family a damn quiz on superficial, stupid-ass facts, like, do I like oceans, or mountains, or tea, or coffee? And we all did really bad, except for her cousin that's actually sitting with us, and I feel like she cheated. But it's
Maybe
just... But it's just so funny to have celebrated her birthday with her yesterday, and having recorded this podcast today, because I feel like Christine and I are like soul sisters in that, I know it's kind of like a dorky term, but soul sisters in that we have similar interests and similar dreams, and she's kind of like my consultant a little bit, right? So when I was thinking about doing this podcast, I had already decided I was going to do it, but I needed Christine's kind of like lick of like approval. Like when you lick the stamp.
Sign of approval.
No lick, like when you lick an envelope.
I know, but I think it's sign of, maybe? I don't know.
That's my way. I need
you lick whatever you want, that's fine. Nice. I'm just trying to sign.
So I needed Christine to kind of like give me the okay. And I think that's partly because I feel like you have a really, really interesting story. So where do we know each other from?
Well, we went to college together.
Woo-woo.
We graduated in 2011 from the social work program at St. Joseph College, which is now University of St. Joseph.
Girl, you know that I was looking at their magazine today, and they're gonna have guys.
Yeah, they're doing co-ed now.
They're doing co-ed starting in 2018, and I'm really upset about that, because I feel like going to an all-girl, like a women's college, I shouldn't say all girls, a women's college really impacted me in a big way. And I went there because it was all women's, because I think in high school I had a lot of issues with guys. Yeah. And not having guys while I was getting my degree helped a lot. And now they're going to have guys, which is whatever. Not a big deal, but I just wanted to share that.
It makes sense. I haven't really thought that into it, but...
So, yes, we met in college, and what have you been doing since college? That's a loaded question, because it's been a long time.
Just trying to save the world day by day, you know? The regular, the normal superhero in disguise.
What do you do now? What's your primary job?
My occupation that pays me.
Yes, that pays the bills.
I'm a flight attendant.
So it's not stewardess, it's flight attendant?
Yes.
So where stewardess come from?
I have no idea.
Oh. I should have Googled that before this episode.
Yeah.
So you're a flight attendant now, but why did you go from, and this might be a touchy subject, but why did you go from wanting to get your degree in social work to becoming a flight attendant? And it might have been just for like a paycheck, but what brought you kind of to that journey?
Well,
because you've also been to a lot of different states and moved a lot too, so.
Yeah. After I graduated, it was really hard for me to find a job. And I feel like that took a toll on me. And
same, girl.
So I don't know. I just, I feel like there was so much pressure on like go to school and like because that's gonna guarantee you like a better life. But it really didn't. It was a bit of a struggle, and so I didn't actually get my first social work job until I want to say about 2014.
And we graduated in 2011. And you didn't get it until 2014.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So 2011, I was just going through a lot of personal things.
Were you living in Connecticut?
I was.
Okay.
I got a job working at TD Bank, and they actually pay well.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, that's great, but then it's such a mundane and like routine kind of job. I'm not like my personality. Yeah. So that's not me.
It was stunting your creativity, for sure, I'm sure.
Definitely. And so, yeah, and you have to like be in this uniform, like, and, well, I mean, I was going to say, you can't be yourself. You can be yourself, but you really can't. So anywho, I worked there for about a year and a half, and then I just kind of went through this season of depression, and I was about to I got a job, or I had an interview at not Wheeler
Clinic?
No, there's another.
The Village for Families and Children. Girl, I can name them all. Catholic Charities.
It's in Hartford.
Community Health Resources.
No,
CHS,
I don't remember,
CHR.
but I think it was Wheeler Clinic, something like that. And the first interview was so promising. And since I was...
Just for a social worker?
Yeah.
Okay.
To something like that. Case management, I want to say.
Okay.
So it was my first, like, real social work interview. I felt like it was super promising. And I'm like, okay, this is awesome. I'm like, I'm going to get the job. And so I went and I was already, like, super depressed going into... Like, I don't know if you've ever felt like I would rather just die than actually going to work.
Yes.
But
yes.
And that's a legit feeling.
That's a regular Tuesday for me.
Don't say that now. But no, my depression was really bad, and I wasn't performing. I mean, like, even my supervisors brought it up to me, and they're like, you're not your usual bubbly self. Like,
oh, so your supervisors at TD Bank brought up the fact that you were depressed.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're like, there's something very noticeably wrong with you.
Wow.
And I was like, and that even opened my eyes, because I'm like, wow, like,
you didn't know that you were depressed at the time?
I mean, I knew how I felt, but I didn't know how much it was projecting and how much, like...
So you weren't, like, seeking help or taking medication and doing anything?
No, we don't do those things.
We don't.
Well, we're Puerto Rican. We just handle it on our own.
Right. We have to drink some tea and get a good night's sleep.
I don't know about tea, but, depends.
I mean,
but for me, yeah.
For you, tea. But everybody else is like, I'm going to go home and have a bottle of wine. Yeah. So at the time, you didn't... At the time when you were working at TD Bank, you couldn't really identify whether or not it was depression, or you really couldn't identify it at all.
I knew something was wrong with me, but I didn't know how much it was affecting me. And, like, I don't know, you just get into this circle where you're, like, wrapped up in your own emotions and nothing else matters in the world but yourself. And it's, like, unfortunate to say because, like, no, I'm out of it. But you can literally offer me, like, $1 million check to go cash it, and I wouldn't. I'd be like, no, I'm okay. Like, I'd rather sit here and sulk in my sorrow.
Yeah. That must have been tough.
But, so, yeah. I went through that there, and then I just ended up...
But you applied to the job you were applying for social work jobs at the time.
Yes, I'm sorry. That's... Okay, so my point is that I was working as a teller. I got the interview, and...
It was promising.
Yeah, and the fact that I was feeling that way, and then the fact that I had the interview and it was promising, I quit.
Oh,
so
good.
I gave them my 2 weeks notice, and I was like, I'm out. Like, I'm not gonna do this anymore. And I took off. I packed my bags, and my best friend lives in Puerto Rico.
Uh-huh.
So I took off, I want to say either right before Thanksgiving or after. And I was there for about 2 weeks, and I got a phone call from Wheeler Clinic, and then they were like, oh, we want to bring you in for another interview. And I was like, what the heck? Another interview?
That's what you said to them?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's what I said to myself.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay. They're like, we'll call you back with a scheduled time or whatever. And I was so like disappointed. I was like, wow, I thought I already had the job. Like, I would come back and get a social work job, and then I just lost it. Not lost it like crazy, but I was just like, I'm over it. I'm over this. I'm over everything. I'm over my life. Like, I'm literally over everything. Yeah. I don't know what's next. I don't know how to get there. I know that I want to be this great person, but I don't know.
And you had no idea, because when you get your bachelor's in social work, it's not like you choose clinical or case management or whatever. So we kind of take the general education courses, right?
Yeah, it's like general learning.
Where did you think that you would end up when you graduated with your bachelor's in social work?
No idea.
Oh, okay. You had...
I've always wanted like my own establishment, but I just know that I want to help people. The super cliche answer. I'm good with people.
Right.
And so
at the time in Puerto Rico, when they called you and they were like, we want another interview with you, were you at the point where you were like, was it a turning point for you?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It turned, that definitely was the turning point. I didn't come back to Connecticut. I missed my flight.
Oh, on purpose?
Yeah.
Okay.
I skipped my flight. I extended my stay in Puerto Rico for about another week and a half. So I was there for about 3 weeks. Then I called my father. I have my father's side of the family that lives in Florida. And I was like, if you'll book me a one-way to Florida, I'll go for Christmas. At this time, I have no job. I have no money. I have no savings.
How did you get by, Christine?
By the grace of God. And credit cards.
I was going to say, I know prayer works, but how else? So credit cards? Because there's a lot of people who have a similar story to you. So you got by at this point with credit cards. No income.
Yeah, no.
And then your family helped you with the airline ticket, right? To Florida.
Yeah. Okay. So my dad booked my one-way, and...
you stayed with them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I was there for about 2 weeks or so. So at this time, I'm out of work for about a month. I've been working since I was 16. I try to work full-time, even in college, full-time.
Right. So it was rare for you to be out of work.
Exactly. And it was really, just kind of like a mental health journey. Now that I look at it, and now I can really...
it was meant for, it was supposed to happen. Yeah.
It definitely, it helped me to clear my mind where I'm at. Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? What am I doing with my life? And at that point, I was 25. And I just feel like... I'm not where I wanted to be at 25. And so there's also a lot of internal pressure,
Girl, I feel like I'm not to cut you off, but I feel like everyone has that quarter life crisis at 25. I had another guest on the show who said the same thing, that at 25 is when she decided to do, to get into her field. It's once you turn 25, you're just wait a minute, 30 is 5 years away. I thought I would be here at 25 and I'm not. What the fuck am I doing wrong? So you're 25, right? You're in the holidays. Was it nice to spend the holidays with your family, or were you depressed still?
I was just in that unstable kind of what am I going to do next? I'm always used to okay, I know what's next. You know, you finish middle school, you go to high school. You finish high school, you go to college. You go to college, you get a career.
That's so awful. I know.
It is, but that's how the system prepares your mind. This is what's next. And so for me, I would say, okay, after college, now it's family time, career time, self-focus, and family time. But I'm in that single stage. I don't have that family set yet, so I don't have those responsibilities. So I'm like, well, what am I going to do in my life? I can't even find a job.
Which is so sad, because I know that I remember when I graduated from my master's, I went home and my family was like, well, when are you going to get your PhD? And I'm just first of all, you don't need to get your master's to get your PhD, right? You just could go from your bachelor. You don't have to get your master's to get your PhD. I'm just
really?
Yeah, I didn't know that either. But you can just once you have your bachelor's, you can get a PhD. You do not need your master's.
But does it help you with your master's? I mean, do you learn the skills?
it could help you with your master's, but a lot of the PhD writing is like 4 or 5 years of school, and like most of it is that big paper at the end. So
the thesis.
So I think getting your master's isn't bad. So I wouldn't recommend people like not getting their master's if they want to get their PhD. I just know people who like were like, oh, I'm getting my master's for no reason because really I'm working towards a PhD. Why don't I just like skip?
Well, that's what I want.
Right. And so my family, but after I graduated, my family said, well, what about a PhD? I'm just like, girl, I'm just fresh from like graduation.
Yeah. Like,
relax.
Yeah.
So we do get that pressure. And I feel like as Latinos in the Latinx community, you know, people get really excited, you know, when we succeed.
Oh, yeah.
And so once we reach one stepping stone, they think that we need to like do it all because they want us to be like in the paper. They want people to know what we're doing. Like, but it's a lot of pressure because, yeah, we're Latinx, and you know, it's a community that is not like publicized a lot and doing good things. But it's like we're tired too, we're depressed too, and we're burnt out. So
yeah, we're all humans.
So then, after the holidays, what happened?
So my mom's birthday is December 27th.
Ooh.
So I booked a flight to come back and support because that was the first time I was also like really away from her as well, like for that long. I mean, it wasn't like that long. I'm sorry, it was early November that I had left. Because
you had been away from her for a month.
Yeah, because I was gone for about a month, and so I came back. It was her birthday, and I have spent the holidays and basically wintertime in the tropical island. So like
you've spent the holidays in tropical islands all the time?
No. I'm saying like I was like while it was winter here, I was in Puerto Rico, I was in Florida, so it was warm.
Okay.
So I landed. When I came back, it was literally snowing, and
you only came back for your mom's birthday.
How do you say that?
Definitively.
I definitively remember that moment when I landed, and I was like, "What am I doing here?"
At Bradley.
Yeah, I got off. I went outside in arrivals, and I was like, "Why am I here?" But like literally, why am I here? And I was like, I have nothing here. I mean, like I have my family, but I need to start something new.
Right.
I said I got to get out of here. So I went and I talked to my mom. And a week later, my dad flew down and we packed my car and we drove off to Florida.
So you were, at this point, it was after the holidays, you were at a crossing point, you were 25, and both of your parents drove down to Florida.
No.
Oh, no, you were in Connecticut.
Yeah,
sorry.
I came back to Connecticut, and then I told my dad that I wanted to move. And
but why did you decide to move to Florida?
Because I have family there,
and you like the tropics more.
Yeah,
okay.
I definitely realized that was one thing I realized I would much rather skip. What the heck is it called? Winter. Yeah, I was like, I'm dodging the snow. I'm good. Like I was just like I spent a month like in Puerto Rico and Florida. I didn't have to deal with anything. No shoveling, no worrying about ice. And then I land and I was like, yeah, no,
this is not for me. Yeah,
this is not for me. So I just felt like it was the perfect time to make a life-changing decision. So, yeah, so my dad flew down, and then we road tripped down to Florida.
You did? How long is that drive?
If you go straight through, it's like 20 hours, right, Jess?
Like 21.
Like 21 hours, but with stopping and stuff, you know, give yourself a day.
Yeah.
24 hours. So when I got there, I moved to my grandparents' house.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
That's sweet.
No,
it wasn't sweet.
No, I love them, but it's just they're older, and so they already are set in their ways. Yeah, and they, I would feel bad if I come in like past like 8. So like they're already sleeping by like 7.
Girl, past 8?
Mm-hmm. Like the sun sets and they're sleeping in bed, you know. But
I get that.
So it's hard. I don't want to like keep my grandma up or like have her worry about me. So, but actually, I was there, and 5 months out, my grandparents tell me that they're moving to Puerto Rico. So I was like, great. What am I gonna do? Like, where should I go now? Like at this point, I really don't have a job. Got a job babysitting some kids, but it was about an hour away from where I was staying. I was staying in Davenport.
So you were Is this when I saw you? Remember when we hung out in Davenport? You were a flight attendant by then.
No. Well,
remember when I went to visit you? I went to Davenport and we went to go eat. Christina had me eating fried alligator, which was gross.
Cafe Tutu Tango.
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Which I still have that painting that I bought. Well, where were you at that point? Because I feel like... Okay, so at this point, you're at your grandparents'... You're babysitting, but then 5 months in...
Yeah, they tell me that they're moving. Oh. So I'm like, great, where am I going to move now? Because I can't afford anything. I can barely afford my bills. You know, like I'm trying to catch up, everything. Right. And so...
And you're still living off of credit cards?
Yeah. Because I was... I did that for about a year. Did you... I would say 6 months. I'm sorry. Maybe like 6 months.
Did you have any... And you know, it's different culturally for everybody, but... You know, I feel like in the Latin culture, we help each other out a lot. But did you feel like there was any shame attached to the fact that you had no job and you were like in your 20s?
Not really. I don't know.
Not shame, really but like did anyone like, ay, mira ese que no está haciendo nada, like, no está trabajando? No. Oh, okay. So you didn't feel that?
No, not at all.
Okay. And then did you ever have any trouble asking people for money to help you out with stuff?
Yeah. The only people I would is my mom and my dad. Okay. Not even my dad.
So it wasn't, you felt bad about asking, but you never felt shame about the fact that you didn't have a job?
I mean, maybe for, like, personally, I might have felt that, but I didn't get comments and stuff from, like, family.
Okay.
Because I'm doing more.
You're doing more, yeah.
What most are doing. Not, like, shaming.
Right. No, I get it.
Not comparison, but, you know, I'm always still progressing.
Right. So after your grandparents decided to move to Puerto Rico, where did you live?
I moved with my aunt.
Nice.
It's actually my step-aunt. It's my stepmom's sister. Mm-hmm. But I've known her since I was 14. Mm-hmm. And we get along really, really, really well.
Yeah.
And so I was actually staying there already. Like, because my grandparents live about 45 minutes away from civilization. And so, like, we come from Connecticut. The bodega's like 5 minutes away. I can walk there. We know everything is like really, really close. Right. But when you go to Florida, you definitely need a car because everything is. I know it's super, super far.
There's so much traffic, and I get people love Florida. They want to retire there. It's just not. It's not for everyone, especially not for me because you have to drive so much.
Yeah, you spend a lot of your time driving. So even that job, it was like an hour away, and I was getting
the babysitting job.
Yeah, I was getting paid $100 a week.
Oh, no.
$100.
And you were spending more than half of that on gas, probably.
Exactly.
A week.
Yep. So they tell me they're moving, and I looked at my aunt, and I was like,
please.
Puppy dog face. She was like, okay. She's like, that's... I mean, I was really, like, basically staying there anyway.
Right.
So I ended up moving with her, and she has a small little apartment, so like we're all on top of each other. She's a single mom. She's raising her daughter. Mm-hmm. And I slept, like, I took over her daughter's room, basically. Like, they gave me her daughter's room. And, mm-hmm. she slept with her anyway. Uh-huh. So I just stayed there. I was there for about 2 years until I got back on my feet. And I mean, like, really back on my feet. Like, I got another job. Well, at this time... Okay, so after the babysitting job, I got a job at the courthouse as a file opener for mm-hmm. the public defender's office. Mm-hmm. And so that's when I met one of my good friends. My first friend in Florida is my good friend Pam. Mm-hmm. She's from New York, and I noticed that I always got along with people that are from New York.
Yeah,
because everyone else that's from Florida is not.
What was that?
They're on a slower pace of life.
Okay.
So just, talking to them sometimes, I'm just like, can we, like...
Speed this up.
Yeah. But, so yeah, I was working there, and then I ended up getting a social work job as a targeted case manager. They don't have the same thing out here, but it's a mental health targeted case manager. Mm-hmm. You do home visits, you conduct assessments, and then you link them you do a biopsychosocial assessment, mm-hmm. and then you link them to services in the community based mm-hmm. on their needs, mm-hmm. which was awesome because this was like my first like social work job, but it's also hard at the same time because if you have to do, 70% of the work is documentation, and I'm not well at.
Yeah, documentation is tough. I feel like a lot of social work jobs, you're at your desk doing documentation. I feel like that's why a lot of people get burnt out.
It's very, very...
How long did you last at that job?
Mm-hmm. Well, I did case management in total for about 2 years with 3 different agencies.
And I feel like that's the point where I saw you in Florida. Because when I met up with you in in Davenport, and we went to that fried crocodile eating place.
That was in Orlando.
Was that in Orlando?
Yeah.
Oh, it was in Orlando because I was in Orlando visiting the parks with my uncle.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's when I saw you because you were like, oh, I'm doing case management, and you loved it at that point.
Yeah, I probably just started.
So then you bounced around from agency to agency, which any of my social workers who are listeners, like, you already know that that's the case. Like, you get your social work degree and you bounce around from like agency to agency trying to figure out who is gonna mistreat you less. Right? Because I feel like
it's true.
You're like, I'm not gonna use the word slaves. I feel like you're just like bound to your clients. You have to always be available. You know, a tremendous amount of paperwork. It definitely takes like a special kind of person to be a therapist, a case manager, to be in the social work field. Because you could be in the social work field and never do that. Huh?
I like how you just pointed that out.
It does, because you can be a social worker. Like, I'm a licensed clinical social worker, but I don't see any clients directly. You know, I'm doing a lot of community education, so I feel like you can still do other things in the social work field. It's very broad, but we spend so much time when you're a social worker trying to figure out what best fits you, and sometimes you don't figure it out.
Just finding your niche, yeah.
Right. But then, girl, you took a 360 and became a flight attendant.
Yes.
How did that happen?
When I first moved to Florida, I was applying to any kind of job, and I have a friend that works in Southwest as a ticket agent, and she was like, "Oh, they're hiring like for flight attendants. You should apply." And I was like, "Shoot, why not?" Like,
You weren't scared about being on a flight? Like,
I don't know. I don't get scared until I'm in the mix.
Oh, okay, you don't even think about it. You're
I can't think that far ahead. I told you know. I get anxious, so I don't think about things until it's in the moment. And so I applied to Southwest, and I didn't hear back. Fast forward, I didn't hear from them until a year later.
Oh, wow.
So by this time, a year later, I'm settled in Florida. I got my own apartment. I had my kitty cat named Seven. I was working 3 jobs.
Were you with that guy? Remember you were in that relationship with that guy that used to go to church with you? Used to go to his church?
Yeah.
Yes, you were with him, or yes, you remember?
I remember.
But were you with him at the time?
I don't know.
Okay. We don't have to touch on that.
For real.
I was just one.
I was like, we ain't got to talk about things that don't matter right now.
It's just, you know, it's different. There's different phases. So
yeah. Next.
So Southwest didn't call you until a year later. When is it that, I'm not gonna say where you currently work now, because I don't know if you want me to say, but your current job that you have now, how did that, like, when was it like, oh, I'm gonna stop being a case manager and now I'm gonna be a flight attendant?
Okay,
like, so what was why? Not the why, because we know the how.
Well, I'll tell you now. I was working. I had left case management. It really definitely burns you out, just because you have to be super, super disciplined, and I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not the kind of person.
It's definitely, yeah.
Because
and you have to be good at time management.
Yeah, the way that okay, we all know how I am with time management. You know, I'll get the job done, but just in my time. I have my own kind of time management, but you have to, like, I had to go home and then do documentation. And by the time I got home from doing visits and stuff, I don't want to do anything.
Which is so crazy. Isn't that bad that they expect you to work here 40 hours and you get paid probably like $40,000 a year, and then on top of that, you go home and do paperwork because you can't finish everything in your 8 hours of the day.
Yeah. No, but but what I liked about it was the flexibility and the learning opportunities that I got from that.
Oh, of course. So, it's not all terrible.
But no, I found myself, like, waiting till the last minute, and, like, work just kept piling up. And that's how you get paid, by doing the documentation.
Exactly, so, because you have to bill.
Mm-hmm. And then if I don't write it, it didn't happen. And so then I find myself shorting myself because I don't even want to write it.
Right, because you're like, oh my God, I met with, like, 17 families this week, and now I have to do 17 notes. It's real
annoying, and it's like the way that you have to write it obviously is a certain way. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, fast forward a year later, I'm in my own apartment. I have my kitty cat. I'm working now at an adult day center for special needs, and I was an adult day instructor, teaching them life skills and daily activities, things like that. That's not my population.
Adults?
No, yeah, people. No. Special needs is not my.
That's.
I appreciate it for like, it definitely softened my heart, like so that I'm more comfortable with them. But it's you have to be so patient,
girl. Yes.
So patient.
Yes.
So next, so I got the interview. So fast forward a year later, I'm doing all these things. I'm doing that, and then I'm mentoring as well. Kids 8 to 17. I was doing mentoring on the side as well. Everything is in my own time. Like I made my schedule for all these jobs. Okay. And then I was a server.
Oh my God,
that's
real. That hustling. Well,
but it was
jobs.
You know what? It was amazing.
Yeah.
Because I was taking care of myself. I didn't ask anybody. You know, like I was just super doing my own thing.
Isn't that so crazy that we have so much pride that we will break our back and eat PB&J and ramen not to ask anybody to help us? That's sad.
It is. But we need to break that.
Right. We need to ask
a little bit.
A little bit.
But I definitely felt like I was in a good place independent wise. But there was still something lacking where I'm like, I need more. I need to do something. I go through this thing every 2 years where I'm just
every 2 years?
No, it's true. I was analyzing my life, and every 2 years I'm just kind of like, all right, what's next? All right. What's my next thing that I have to accomplish? Like, I don't like being stagnant. Yeah. But that also helps with my, progression.
Your growth, yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, I'm so sorry. Fast forward, we're a year later. Southwest calls me, and I'm working at this job. I really didn't want to work there anymore.
Special needs.
Yeah, I'm working at this facility, and I get a phone call from Southwest, and they're like, "Oh, we want to pursue." I did a phone interview, and they're like, "We want to pursue and do a face-to-face. We're gonna fly you out to Texas for the interview, and then you come back the same day." I was like, "What? That's so amazing!" Like for me to fly out in the same day and come back the same. I was like, "That's a
jet setter."
I needed like some form of excitement, like
that's what probably you were lacking,
And so, all right, so I got it done. Did the interview.
How was that? Is it like a regular job interview?
No, it was an amazing experience. They do like you mingle with all of the other interviewers, whatever. Yeah. One of those words. So you mingle with the other people, with the other candidates, and I know they're paying attention to you from the beginning. How you interact with people, how you engage with them.
Oh, so you get there and you're mingling with people and they're watching how you mingle with people. Yeah. Because part of being a stewardess
they don't tell you that, but
it's huge on customer service.
Exactly.
Right.
So when I got there, I'm talking to everyone, and it was actually really cool. But it's different because it's like, that you're competing for the same job, but
what qualifications what are they looking for in a flight attendant? Like what qualifies you as a flight attendant? Anything?
Honestly, yeah. I can't say. There is no specific thing. I can tell you.
Do you have to have a bachelor's degree?
Different. No, you don't have to.
You can have a high school diploma and be
you have to be 21.
Because you're giving out liquor, right?
Yeah, you have to be 21, and
you have to have your bachelor's.
You have to have a great personality.
Okay. So really? 21, great personality, high school diploma, right? In some college?
Yeah,
So no, you don't need to have a bachelor's.
There's no specific requirement.
Literally?
But, yeah, like, if you, I don't know, I haven't looked it up, but, like, you have to have your high school diploma and be 21. But I'm saying if you have good customer service skills, I'm pretty sure that'll help you.
But you had never been a flight attendant before, so I think that's so crazy. I mean, it makes sense because you're a social worker, so it's like, but what if somebody else has, like, a math degree? Like, maybe they wouldn't get the job because they've never done, like, customer service. Like, I feel like social work is kind of like customer service.
There's no way, there's no way to write down a list of qualities that they're looking for.
Oh, wow.
Like, I can't
That's so crazy.
It's based on the recruiter, how they feel, what they're looking for.
And it's really about a person that, like, how they feel about you and your vibe.
Exactly. There's people that tried to get in my company for 4 years, like in a row, every time they open up.
Was it your was it a group interview or individual?
So it was individual, and so you mingle for a little bit, and then you do like the airplane test. Like you go in to see if you can walk through the aisle and not hit the seats without bumping into people. Mm-hmm. And then you do like a jump seat test. Like, can you sit in your jump seat and strap on your seatbelt? And can you reach the overhead band? So we did that little walkthrough. And then they tell us about the position. And then they do the one-on-one interview. I heard back once I got back, I don't know. I was just kind of like in this excitement. I was like I really wanted to do it. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like, I think I'm going to get this job. Like, that's so exciting. Why did you want to do it? Because it was something new. Mm-hmm. And I was burnt out with what I was doing already. And I'm just like, I'm over it. I'm ready for a new season. It
seems like at least in the movies and the little bit of times that I've traveled, it seems like A, it's a very taxing job, but B, like very, I don't want to say rewarding, maybe it is, but exciting. Because you don't know who's going to be on your flight. And you're traveling to all these maybe not exotic, but... You travel to all these places. Was that the same thing that you were thinking? Like, oh, I'm going to get to travel a lot. And I'm going to meet all these people. And I'm going to... Because Christine be talking to everybody when we're out. I'm like, girl, stop. So, you were like... At this point, you were like, oh, yeah. I'm going to meet all these people. I'm going to network. Like, this is good.
Of course. Like, that's all you think about when there... Any new season in your life, that's what you think about. Is all the pros. And... So they called me and I didn't get the job.
I thought you were going to say, like, I worked there for a little bit, then I switched because I'm like, I know she don't work for Southwest now.
So I actually didn't get the job. And I was really butthurt. I was just like, I can't believe, like, that they would... I'm like, why? I thought the interview went so well. Like, I was like, I really had this amped up in my head. Like, that's it. Like, oh my God, I'm going to move. Like, I'm going to do something new. And I really wanted to work for that company. But no, they didn't give me the job. And so I hit up another friend who works for the airline that I work for now. And he's like, yeah, they're hiring, like literally. And they don't open up their applications.
They're a very popular airline.
Yeah. So it was very rare for them to be open at the same time that I asked. So there had to be some sort of reason. And I was like, oh my God, that's so crazy. So I applied. I feel like the process, I'm just speaking on my own experience because people...
And where was their base? In Boston?
Okay, so they have 5 bases. Hold on, let me get there.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so I got the interview, I want to say maybe in like a month. Like, I got I did the phone interview, I did the face-to-face interview.
All in Florida?
Yes, all in Orlando. And then I was offered the position.
Wow.
The next day after my
after your interview?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so oh my gosh, that interview was one of the best interviews that I've ever had in my life. It was just very
similar to Southwest?
Yes.
The procedure.
But it was a little bit more intense.
Oh wow.
Because I'm not gonna get into details, but it was a little bit more intense.
Were you happy when you got it?
I was excited and nervous at the same time because I had worked so hard. You know, I went through the struggle. Okay, so just to backtrack, I left home. I left Connecticut. I packed my bags, moved to Florida. I struggled with the whole not having a job, finally finding a job, and now I have my own place. Yeah. And like, this is my home. Like, this is me as an adult. My first apartment. Right. I have a cat. I mean, like, I don't have kids, but like, she's my pet. Like, so
you're a pet mom.
Yeah, we have like. We've created a home for ourselves. Like my church is my home. I volunteered there. Like I'm there every Sunday. So then reality is sinking in, and I'm just like, oh my God, wait a minute. This means
you're setting roots here. Oh
yeah, no, but yeah, I'm planting seeds there, and I'm just like,
that's what I meant.
Wait, like now I have to. Like change my life again. Like I wanted to change my life, but then when the opportunity came, I was like, I don't think I want to do this.
But at the time when you were working at that airline, did you think it was going to be like smooth? Like you were like, I can still have my place in Florida.
I did.
Oh, okay.
I really did. And when I applied, 90% sure that the application said Orlando, but that's where they do the main training. They don't tell you that that's not where you're going to be, but they tell you in the interview. They break it down, everything, and it's super life-changing. Anywho, what was I saying? So
you're working at your current airline, and you're saying it's super life-changing, but you weren't working outside of Orlando?
Okay.
So, Christine, you kind of told us a little bit about from when you graduated to kind of your trajectory, a word we used last night that I'm really excited to use today. Your trajectory and kind of becoming a flight attendant. And I kind of talked to some of my friends that I told that I was going to interview you, and they were really excited because they were like, that's so cool. You know why? Because we don't see any Latinas like being flight attendants. And my friends who know me like personally know that I kind of travel a lot, not a whole bunch. And I'm grateful for my job and other things that allow me to travel. But, you know, I see people of color, but I don't see a lot of Latinas.
Because you're not on the right airline, girl. That's why.
But how long have you been a flight attendant now?
2 years. A little over 2 years.
2 years, okay. Do you feel like your particular airline is diverse?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So there's no question about it.
Mm-mm. No, that's why when you said that, I was like,
I know, you gave me a look when I said that.
We have a lot of Spanish females.
Okay, good. So your airline is diverse.
Yeah.
They, you know how when you apply for jobs, they ask if you're bilingual and stuff? For your airline, do they care whether if you're bilingual? Do you get paid more if you're bilingual?
You do. There are benefits if you're bilingual. It's considered, like when you do the Caribbean flights.
Yes. When you sign
translate, you translate. You have to go through like a little test, which is hilarious. I'll tell you about that in a second. But you have to translate the PAs.
Oh, yes.
Spanish.
Oh, yeah.
So you get paid. You get some extra. You get like an extra $1 or $2.
Oh, that's not a lot.
It is.
Oh, it is. Okay. It adds up. Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's $2 an hour.
Oh. So. Oh, that's true. I thought you meant like an hour for the shift.
No,
I'm so stupid.
No, girl.
So, would you say that other airlines are more white?
What? Depends what airlines you talking about.
So, have you seen that? Like that they're
I would say I wouldn't.
Or do you think that it's a pretty like, you know, diverse like thing to be like a flight attendant? Like flight attendants are diverse. I also think it's mostly women dominated too, which is a whole different thing.
No, my field is gay men dominated.
Really?
Yes.
See, Christina's just snatching my edges tonight, telling me all the stuff that I'm wrong about. So your particular airline is diverse. It has mostly a lot of gay males. Mm-hmm. Yep, I said that right.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. I'm clearly on the wrong flights.
Yeah, you are. But what I was going to say really quick is the other airlines, I would like American and like airlines that go international. They have different qualifications with like speaking a different language.
Yeah.
And so that's true.
Why
there's not I don't know. I can't attest to it, but yeah, that's probably why. But we do a lot of like Caribbean flights.
And I feel like, yeah, that makes sense. I also feel like when I've flown to different countries or different places, like when I've when I went down south, there were more like black flight attendants or people who maybe identified as African American or like, you know, visibly they were black. So
yeah.
When I went down south, that's what I realized. Or when I'm in Connecticut, I feel like Connecticut the Northeast has a lot of like Hispanics. So I would see a lot of Hispanics. So that's interesting. But I've never seen a Latina flight attendant. So when you were like, I'm going to be a flight attendant, I remember when you were talking about how you had to do the test where you're walking down the aisle and stuff. You told me that like 4 times because I feel like I've asked you like, how'd you become one? That's so cool because is it one of those jobs that you would not be able to have like a relationship and a family?
The beginning is really, really tough. I'm not going to lie. And you go through a lot of self-reflection because you have so much alone time.
Really?
Yeah. You know, people don't realize how lonely this job can actually be.
Alone time? When do you have alone time?
It's like all the time. When am I not alone? No,
but do you mean like on your days off or on the flight?
Even on the flight, just because you're surrounded by people doesn't mean you're not alone.
Girl, say that again.
Just because you're surrounded by people does not mean you're not alone.
That's so true.
And I'm sorry.
No. I'm just like I'm making a gesture because I'm just like because you're, no, keep going because it's so true. So you've had a lot of like times when you're like lonely. Is it something that a lot of other? I only know one other flight attendant. And it almost seems like a culture. Like your friends are flight attendants. People you surround yourself with are flight attendants also. The people you live with, like right now, your living situation, like you live in Connecticut part-time, but you're somewhere else part-time.
Yep.
Those people are people that you like cohabitate with because it's like a culture, right? Crazy hours.
It's not a job, it's a lifestyle. That's what everyone says. Okay. And it's true. It really is a lifestyle. So it's just... It takes a personal toll on you if you're not... You can choose to be too aware of your emotions and how how this job can affect you, or you can be clueless and unaware. You know? Do
you feel then because you were at such a chaotic point in your life where you had no direction? I don't mean to say that in a bad way.
No. Let me sip my tea. Literally. No.
Were you I'm sorry, not no direction, but you were like looking for something fresh. Now, 2 years later, reflecting back on your employment, do you feel like this was the right step for you to become a flight attendant?
Yes. I'm only saying answering like that because right now I'm in a season of transition.
Right.
But
do you feel like it was good for you at the time and still good for you now? I know that every job has highs and lows, but
I really haven't thought about that. But yes,
okay.
No,
maybe this is the perfect journal activity for you.
Yeah, now I really need to think about this question. Say the question again.
So, do you feel like it was a right move for you? Like, are you happy with your current like lifestyle? Because you said it's a lifestyle.
It was a good move for me to do a lot of self-reflection, and it's provided me with a lot of opportunities to meet people, to network, and to see
Is it
the
literally
rest of the like?
Is it literally how it's cracked up to be, where you're like constantly traveling and seeing the world?
Some people are like super hype. Like this job is their life. Like literally, like that's.
And they pick up shifts and they constantly traveling.
They revolve. I mean, like I said, it's a lifestyle, so they are really hype about it. But it's not for me. So that's why I answer with these. I don't want to deter anyone from like if this is like their dream.
But you also had a season of transition.
Where
you're transitioning out.
Exactly. Hopefully. And this is, it takes a toll on your body, physically, mentally, for me spiritually, because my home is
important.
My home is wherever God is, which is everywhere. But I was planting seeds in my church, and that's what brought me. That's what was bringing me joy and was changing me from the inside out. And so, being disconnected from that really took a toll on me in the beginning of this job, because you have no control of your life.
So not having any roots and not having any roots as in terms of like, am I going to go to church in Boston or Connecticut or Florida, or am I going to have Sundays or Saturdays off to do worship and give back to my church? Would you say that it was like damaging your mental health? Not damaging, but taking a toll on your mental health.
It was. So that was also like another. I mean, it was in a season of depression because now I'm aware, but
you better manage it.
Yeah, but you still, you get into your thoughts and your minds, and.
So then, how did you stay grounded, Christine? Because two years later, you're on a season of change, which I want you to definitely share with the listeners as to where you're at right now. How did you stay grounded with having this crazy schedule? I remember one time Christina came to visit me in Connecticut, and catching her. The fact that we're doing this episode is a miracle, because you would think that this girl is super organized. She's not. She don't write nothing down. I'm gonna get her a planner for Christmas because this is ridiculous. You see, so I remember one time you came to visit me in Connecticut. Literally, she'll be like, "Hey, I'm in town. I don't have a car. Like, I have a car or like whatever's going on." And she would have her huge.
I'm super sporadic.
Oh, that's fine. That's good. But you would have like I remember that time you came to my house when we went on that long walk. You had so much food packed, and I was so impressed because literally we've all eaten plain food before. Christine told me because I was having a lot of not anxiety, but I was getting nauseous on flights. And so Christine gave me some good tips on not to be nauseous on flights, which we're going to share. Mm-hmm. But so she was showing me all the food that she prepped and it was so healthy. So I know that, you know, some weeks or months or days are better than others where you can meal prep, right, for your flights because you never know what to expect. But how did you stay grounded? I know you've talked about your faith. You know, not being able to go to church. What did you do? Did you pray? Did you just read your Bible? Did you listen to podcasts? Did you watch on YouTube? What?
I did. Well, I'd catch. See, I was really stubborn, and I only wanted to connect with my church. And so that was a part of that was an internal thing I had to deal with. But that was my struggle. Is like, no other church is the same. I gotta go to my church. You know,
right.
But the word is the word, and God's gonna plant a seed wherever He wants to plant a seed. And you're in a place, you know, you're divinely put where you need to be put for a reason. And so, but you need to be obedient and be open to whatever He has to say, whether you want to hear it or not.
Right.
And so, I was kind of frustrated because I wasn't where I wanted to be. Like, I wanted the job, but I wanted to be based out of Orlando. Like, I wanted to be home in my apartment. And so every time that I went to Boston, I was literally like crying. I cried when I left. Aww. And plus I was like on and off with that guy. Mm-hmm. And so there were a few things that pulled you to Florida. Exactly. And so I realized that now that only kept me distracted from where He needs me to go. And so I just check myself every now and then and see how I'm feeling, checking internally how my heart is doing. Am I growing? Am I going in the right direction? And I started doing a lot of like listening to podcasts for certain churches. Like Elevation Church is really awesome. I love Elevation Church. Yeah,
I talk about that in my first episode. Mm-hmm. How that's the reason I got into podcasting.
Nice. I love him.
Did you ever visit him? Because I'm sure that you probably had the chance because you probably went down there.
No, but I did that a lot. I visited a lot of churches that, like, if I went on vacation or if I'm somewhere on a Sunday, I try to go to church wherever I'm at. Mm-hmm. And so that opened up my heart and my mind, and you know that renews me. And then I do my devotions. What else? I go to a lot of conferences. I make road trips. My best friend is my travel companion. Mm-hmm. So we do a lot of girl trips. Mm-hmm. And if there's a conference, like we go to the VU conference in Miami. So we'll make like a weekend
church
trip.
Conferences. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you were listening to a podcast, going to church conferences. Also, did you want to travel on your spare time, even though your job required you to travel? I know it's a weird question, but...
You know what? You go through moments where you do, and then other moments you don't. Like, someone's like, oh, let's fly somewhere, and I'm like, I really don't want to. Like...
I don't want to be on the plane.
I actually don't want to be on a plane. Like, I just kind of want to be grounded. Like, I just want to chill. But like I said, the beginning was tough because they don't pay you either. Like, I went from working 3 jobs basically to working a part-time job. I'm still paying for my apartment, my car. I still have all my financial obligations, and then they're paying me pennies.
Was going to church and doing the conferences and stuff enough? Like, what were you doing to, like, turn down? Because it seems like a lot to have to run around and stuff.
Was it enough?
No. It was... Oh, yeah. Was it enough just, like, focusing on your faith?
To keep me grounded spiritually?
Yes. Or did you do other things, like, on a regular to keep yourself kind of grounded? Like, self-care during this time?
Oh, definitely. I mean...
But the faith was most important?
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, yeah. That's where it starts. So that way that
everything also...
Every other aspect in life aligns if that is grounded. And...
But you and I were also working out a lot at one point when you were in Connecticut. Because then you decided to come back to Connecticut.
Okay, so...
I know that's a different phase, but...
Okay, so I've lived in about 4 different states in the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. I was living in Florida, Connecticut, Boston, and Puerto Rico.
I remember, yeah.
But what was your original question? Wait, why were we talking about this? Oh, because you asked me, like, how did
you stay grounded? So I know it's a loaded question, but in these 2 years, so what can you... Spiritually, you were doing the conferences. You were going to churches when you had the time. So visiting different churches, listening to podcasts. What else did you do to stay grounded?
Physically, I work out on my layovers.
Okay.
Running is actually... I really like... I haven't done it in a while. But I like running. And it really
running is nice.
It really clears my mind. And it's become like my alone time with God.
Oh, like, yeah. I like that.
I see him in everything that I do. And so, I don't know. It's just really nice when I'm able to go for a run. And I call on him when I need strength and I don't want to run. Right. I'm like, get me through this. And then you realize you ran like 2 miles. And you're like, oh, wow, I didn't even notice.
Right.
But that's really... And that also helps me, like, on layovers when I go running. I explore the town by running. And I've seen a lot of nice things. DC, oh my God, is amazing.
Girl, I love DC, yes.
So, running really helps me. And then I also, and you feel good about yourself. You're
Absolutely.
Like, okay, I did
You sweat and you had a little workout, yeah.
So, and then meal prepping is super important. Super, super important. A, because eating out is expensive. And B, it's not good for you.
How horrible is the food on the airplane?
There is no food on the airplane, girl.
I mean, when I went to London and I had food.
Yeah, because that's international.
Okay, so how bad is that food?
I don't know, but...
Like, bad for you. That's what I mean. Like,
it's probably really bad.
But
when you're hungry and you broke, you're gonna eat it.
What about them little... I love the cookies that Delta give me. Are those bad for you?
Girl, I'm not a nutritionist. I don't know about any of those things.
Okay, but I want you to tell me, like, Amneris, don't eat them because it has too much salt or too much sugar.
Too much sugar, Amneris, don't do it.
But, girl, I'm flying tomorrow, Delta, and I don't give a fuck. I'm going to have the cookies. So, do you feel like, despite, like, how... Oh, I love this song. Despite everything that has gone on these 2 years, and I know you said it was the right time for you to do it. Do you feel like mentally, like, I know it took a toll on you, that you stayed true to yourself?
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
You have to be able to listen to yourself. Mm-hmm. Not just physically. A lot of, like, health specialists, they're like, how does your body feel? Are you tired? Get your 8 hours of rest. Or if you're hungry, you eat. The same way that you do that physically, you need to tune into yourself emotionally, spiritually, and make sure that you're being real with yourself. Don't ignore it.
So then what, on those times where you are having doubts, or you are having kind of like, you feel worn down, what motivated you to like get to work and kind of like get on the airplane and not call out? And
my bills.
Once I asked it, I'm just like, that was a fucking stupid question. It's like anybody else. What gets you up in the morning? Paying your fucking bills, your lights, so your light don't get cut off? Like, but what motivated you to be like, fuck this establishment? Like, I'm just gonna apply for a regular job with 9 to 5. Like, why are you still there?
The opportunity to be, I have family everywhere. And
That's
so
awesome.
Being able to share those moments, like, birthdays or weddings and, just special moments, when it counts, I'm able to just show up. Mm-hmm. And I like that. And it's nice to be able to share life with everyone physically.
And be there. That's so awesome that you could be in Connecticut.
I celebrated my birthday yesterday here in Connecticut with this family. And now I'm going tomorrow to celebrate with my other family in Florida.
And I think that's so cool because us regular people that can't fly for free.
Basic people. No,
right. What is the Basic Latina podcast? Us basic people can't just hop on an airplane and do that. I know that people who like are always looking for cheap flights and stuff like that. So I think that's
God,
awesome.
I know. They be hitting me up like, you know any deals? No.
Yeah, I know.
Stop. That's one thing. If y'all know a flight attendant, please do me a favor. Stop asking for buddy passes. Stop asking for discounts. No, I don't know anything. I'm not on reservations. Like, call the 1-800 number. They got you covered.
Call the 1-800 number. Do you have any horror stories of being a flight attendant? Because we live in a really crazy world. And we know that we're not, it don't matter where we are. A movie theater, a school, an airline, an airport. It doesn't matter. Our home, something could go down. So did you ever like feel like I'm unsafe on this flight?
Girl.
Or like, I can't wait to get off this flight because I'm having a lot of anxiety.
You know what? It's funny you asked that. Well, I don't have any horror stories. Just to clarify that.
Okay.
No, I don't. But
damn, no people having sex on a plane?
Oh my god, no.
What? You've never seen people having sex on a plane?
I'm not juicing out that stuff. I don't know.
You're supposed to give the juice. Oh my god, people don't know how you look, Christine. God damn it. Okay, continue. No horror stories. Blah, boring. So, but okay. So then, what about the other stuff? Like, because I remember there was something happened at an airport in Florida. Remember I texted you?
Yeah, that was in Fort Lauderdale. I would say that this job really makes you think about life and death and the realities of it. Yeah. Because, I mean, I'm literally, I'm on a plane. And God forbid, something does go down. That might be it,
Yeah. So that makes sense why you were probably so strong in your faith, because maybe us people who just like drive to work, we're not like praying hard in the car about like, oh, I hope that this 10-minute drive don't kill me.
You should,
right? But we don't, right? If you're being realistic, we pray probably in the morning or maybe at night. We thank God. Maybe we talk to Him at lunch, like whatever. Exactly. But you're probably like, please God, let everybody, everybody on this flight, all the flight attendants, the pilot, his co-pilot, everybody to get to
be in the right mind.
Right, Abu Dhabi, like, what fucking beans? Did I say that right? Abu Dhabi?
I have no idea.
Isn't that a place?
We don't fly there.
Okay, fucking Colorado. So get us to Colorado safely. Right? Is that what goes through your head?
No. No, what goes through my head is I'm freaking out. I was like, oh my God, I might die. I haven't even done the things that I wanted to do, and I might die.
You selfish. I'm just kidding.
I am. No, I really do think about those things, and but I pray for peace, like in knowing that there's bigger than this. If I think life is good, then I can't imagine what eternity is like. So, it really makes you also check, like, am I really bound to the things of this world? Am I really... Yes, you can be, have an emotional attachment. Yes, you can have relationships. You can have nice things, material things. You can have accomplishments. It's nice to achieve all of those things. But are you so connected to it that...
You don't see anything else around you.
Exactly. And so you really just gotta, like, check yourself and be real with...
Possessing things instead of people. Right?
Say that again?
Possessing things instead of people. Isn't that what they say or something?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right way, but to say it.
You really have to value...
relationships?
I would say value what you're putting into this world before you leave it.
Which... Yeah. No, which totally gets us into what you want to do next for yourself, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Look at you doing transitions and stuff.
Yes.
I see you.
I'm a regular podcast bidder.
Okay. So what is next for you? So
the season that is next. Well, I am currently heading to Australia in January.
I was going to try to do an Australian accent, but it was going to be terrible, so I'm not going to try.
Yep. I'm going to do Sorry, I can't get my mind right.
It's late.
I am going to Sydney, Australia to Bible College to attend a program to be a pastoral minister.
You're not getting your MSW?
I am, eventually.
Oh, okay.
Not eventually, like a long time, but as soon as I do that, I'm going to come back and I'm going to go to graduate school for my master's. And I want to be able to have a faith-based youth development program that combines social work and biblical practices. So
once you go to this school, what will you graduate with? What's your tangible?
It's a certificate.
Oh, okay.
I get a certificate. And
how long is the program?
It's a year long. It's 12 months. And, the big thing, like, my big hesitation with going there in the beginning was practicality. Because I have my undergrad in social work, it's like, what's the reason for me to attend this program that is not going to give me a degree?
Right.
But I talked to everyone, and, God already confirmed it on my heart where He wants me to go. And that was the nudge that He kept giving me. But it's more about working on your heart.
Absolutely. And I feel like that's awesome. That gives you a good amount of time, just that year, to kind of reboot and figure out what's the next step for you.
I think this is gonna be a huge preparation for even bigger things.
You're gonna be like a pastor?
Kind of, yeah.
Will you be able to have sex?
Oh my God. When I'm married.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm asking a real question. The listeners are probably wondering the same thing.
I'm just saying,
because pastors don't have sex, so I'm just my bad.
Yes, they do. What kind of church are you going to?
Right? Is it nuns? It's nuns that don't have sex.
Thank you. I'm not trying to be a nun.
My bad.
No, thank you.
My bad. Sorry.
God created sex. It's actually a blessing.
Okay, no, sorry. That was ignorant of me. That was dumb.
It's all good. You can ask whatever you want.
Well, all the listeners, which is probably just 2 of you, of the Basic Latina podcast, wish you luck, Christine, on your next journey. Like, as your friend that's known you through all your different phases. Right now, Christine has these red dreadlocks in her hair, and I'm just looking at her like, girl, when does your natural curly hair come back? Because you were doing the curls for a long time, and I'm a curl advocate.
We gotta switch it up.
Okay, fine, whatever. I'm really happy for you, and I know that, your faith is never wavering, and wherever you land, I'm never concerned that you're gonna go, like, broke, hungry, and homeless. Like, I feel like you'll, like, end up befriending somebody homeless and, like, shacking up, like, in, like, a cardboard box and be happy. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things where you're such a resilient person, and you're gonna be fine. And I never worry about, like, your health, because I think that you're good, and that and you're really good at reaching out. Because you'll reach out to me like, hey, I need this, I need that, I need to see you, we need to hang out. And I know it's because you need, like, human connection. Like, you need to, like, reboot. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of people have to do that, when you're having a hard time, and you have a person in your life, or you have people in your life that, will reboot you, give you a life support. If you're drowning, like, reach out to them. Mm-hmm. Right?
Oh, definitely. The enemy likes to attack you when you're alone.
Girl... Say that again.
The enemy attacks when you're alone. That's his purpose. I mean, like,
right.
That's when he gets you.
Absolutely. Can we end on a light note?
That is light.
No, it's not.
That's reality.
Fine. I want us to, as someone
flowers don't actually smell good.
Okay, you know what? This is a positive. No, just kidding. This is a positive podcast, and we don't appreciate your negativity, Christine. No, but I love that you are always a realist. I really appreciate all the wisdom you've given me throughout the years, and the best advice. Christina's given me a lot of good advice, but the best advice you gave me was to chew ginger chews on my flights, because I flew to LA on the way back. This was like 2 years ago when I went to visit my friend Jess in LA. On the way back, there was a lot of turbulence. The flight attendants were rude as fuck. I was vomiting, and I was telling them to bring me bags, and the guy was just like, our safety is important, like, stop calling us. That's what he told me. And I get it, like, his safety is important too, but just give me, like, a whole bunch of bags. Like, don't stop giving me fucking 1 bag at a time. I, like, threw up, like, in 5 bags. And it was the most awful flight ever. And so I told Christine, I'm just like, I'm so nervous to fly again. I was flying to London. And I was really concerned. And so my other friend told me to take Dramamine, but I didn't know what to do. So ginger chews, I got a pack of ginger chews. And those are clutch ever since. So I'm flying tomorrow to Atlanta. And I got my ginger chews, my Dramamine, and you're always on a flight, always. So yeah. What is it? What do you do to prepare? You also told me not to eat foods that you get bloated on flights. Is that true?
I don't know if I told you that, but yeah.
You told me not to eat like a salty, like fatty meal before a flight.
Oh, probably.
Yeah, you told me not to eat a salty, fatty meal before a flight.
Because when you're in the air, like, your body swells up.
Right. So that's why you're always thirsty. Because I was telling you, I'm like, man, I'm always thirsty on the flight, and the flight attendants never want to give me water.
I'm gonna need you to switch airlines, like I said.
I'm loyal to Delta.
That's your problem. That's why you get no bags.
I wasn't flying Delta then. I think I was flying Norwegian Air or something. But okay, so you told me get the ginger chews for the nausea, which was awesome.
Meal prep.
Yep, meal prep. So don't eat a whole, because at the airport we all try to take that little flick with our passport and our glass of wine or whatever. Christine also told me not to get fucked up before a flight, because you get dehydrated and you're like at an elevated place, right? and you might swell up. So we all know that alcohol makes us dehydrated. Salty, fatty foods is gonna make our belly hurt. We get constipated on flights. So, I'm talking about real shit. So, what is it? What else do you suggest that people do before a flight?
Pray.
Okay. Prayer is important. What are some other like travel tips?
Oh goodness. Bring a jacket or a blanket or a sweater.
Cause they ain't gonna give you one. Cause girl, when I used to fly to Santo Domingo, I got turned up. Girl, when I flew to Santo Domingo the first time when I was mad young, American Airlines would give you a little pillow with a blanket.
They used to give you free stuff. Now they don't.
That's fucked up. Yeah. And you have to pay for headphones. Mm-hmm. So, sorry, not to interrupt you.
Yeah, bring your own headphones.
Bring your own headphones. Bring your... Have you ever... I know you like to blog. Have you ever tried to do a travel blog?
Right now, y'all can check out ckm113.wordpress.com. Free advertisement right here.
Girl, I'll put it in the... I'll just put it in the notes. Girl, yes. No, we're going to drop all your handles at the end of this. Don't worry. So, bring a blanket, bring your headphones, obviously. Bring whatever medication you need on the flight.
Yes.
Obviously, we know we should buy water after we get past security. Because security will take away your water bottle. Mm-hmm. Stay away from salty foods. Drinking alcohol, like a whole bunch. Like getting fucked up. What else do you recommend?
Comfy socks. And don't walk in the airplane with your bare feet. Please, that's disgusting.
On the airplane, people do that?
Yes. Okay. Like, they walk to the bathroom with just, like,
Ew.
their regular socks.
Do they clean those bathrooms?
So, like, they walk... You know...
She did not answer the question for the record. What are your on-flight necessities?
My on-flight necessity? Lotion. Oh, yeah, that's another one. Lotion. Hand lotion, because your hands get really dry. Mm-hmm. Hand lotion, water, chapstick, hand sanitizer, or wipies. Mm-hmm. A blanket, a neck pillow. It's hard finding a decent neck pillow.
Girl. And I don't like neck pillows. I've never bought one because they don't work for me. I just thug it out and like roll up my like jean jacket.
That's another way too. I usually like a scarf because a scarf I can use as a blanket and as fashion. So
go ahead, okay.
I could do a lot of different things with it, like a big scarf.
I see people wear sunglasses on the plane because it's bright.
No, that's extra.
Okay.
That's me.
What are some, there's a lot of beauty bloggers now that talk about like how to pack light and how to do this. Are there any brands or beauty things that you have to bring with you on your flight? What's the one thing that you have to bring with you on every single flight? It might, other than maybe your I was going to say your Bible or your cell phone or whatever.
She knows it. She know me already.
Yeah. Beauty things that us ladies.
That's beauty. No.
I mean, it is.
Like, I don't know, everything. I try not to bring everything, but I mean, like, I always have like my skincare stuff.
So skincare. So your, which TSA threw away my rose water.
Yeah, make sure it's 3.4 ounces or less.
Yeah, it was 4 ounces, and they threw it away. Girl, it was like $17 at Ulta. Because I feel like my face gets so dry on my lips and my nose.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. That's a good one. A face...
spray?
Face spray. Like a hydrator.
Okay.
That's good to have, too.
Not a face mask. Just a face spray. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's
so face spray, lotion, chapstick.
My headphones are always a
headphones.
Charger. A block.
A what?
A block charger, like the portable chargers.
Portable chargers, water, a book, your Kindle.
My journal.
Your journal.
For me. Yeah, those are, like, if you look at my purse, those are my I always have my laptop, my Bible, my journal, my book, chapstick, face spray, lotion, and water.
I don't know who invented face spray, which I'm sure is just water, but it's amazing. And I love all of those things. That's funny that you said, all those things that are already in your purse. What is it? I'm going to ask you some of the questions that I asked.
I thought we were closing this up.
We are closing this up. I'm going to ask you all do you not want to be on here anymore?
I just want to make sure we have enough time.
To do what? Come on.
I wanted to make sure we didn't go over.
We're good.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you the questions. This is how we're going to end. I'm going to ask you the questions I ask all my guests.
Okay. Oh, that's funny.
So what are you reading right now?
Ooh. God's Not Dead.
God's Not Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't that a movie?
Yes. Yeah, I wanted to get the book because, well, obviously I was inspired by the movie, but the book has the facts to back up the movie.
Is it a good book? I've never seen the movie.
So far, yeah. It's really good.
Awesome. God's Not Dead. Okay. What has made you what are you listening to right now? I know we're listening to music low-key in the background right now, but what is it like? What's the person that you're listening to right now? Like maybe this week?
Honestly.
Cardi B?
No.
Oh, okay.
How do you say her name? SZA?
Oh, SZA. I love SZA.
SZA?
I love SZA. Yeah. SZA? It's like the ghetto way of saying scissors. It's SZA.
Oh my gosh. I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What song do you like?
It's just...
her whole album is fire. It's ridiculous.
Okay. I like the style of her music. Because I love Sade.
I know.
So...
I really enjoy her. Yeah.
I enjoy it more from an artist perspective. Like I don't necessarily like agree with everything she says, but I enjoy like the tone of the music and all of that stuff.
Okay.
But it's like a really nice chill vibe.
It is a very chill vibe, and I know people. My friend that I was hanging out with on Halloween, he told me the same thing, that he likes her. He doesn't agree with some of the things that she says, which is kind of like a, which it's
like
neither here nor
it's like why are you listening to it? But
no, it's neither here nor there. Like it's whatever you believe in, but it's like there's one particular song when she talks about being a side chick, and a lot of people don't like it. And as someone, which is totally, this is me being candid, which is someone who has like been a side chick before, I feel that song. So it's, and I don't get insulted by it or whatever. And people are like,
"Oh, the weekend."
Right. It's never been that intense. But as someone who has been in that position before, I know I feel her like I know you feel her from an artist perspective. Yeah. A lot of her experiences I've experienced before. So, but that's awesome. I feel like she's really popular now. I hope she comes to Connecticut.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. What has made you the happiest this week?
This week, being able to celebrate my birthday with family that are in 2 different states.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. And the week is not over.
Yep.
What is your morning routine right now?
Waking up.
Oh yeah, because you sleep in, right?
10 o'clock is my wake up time. My morning routine, ideally, it would be doing my daily devotional, drinking my tea, and going for a light run. Ideally.
On a good day.
Yes, on a good day.
That's awesome. We're just talking about the good days, not the bad days. I'm just kidding. What's your night routine? Like, what do you do for turn down?
It depends. I either read a book or craft and watch a movie. Like I either read and drink my tea, or I'll do crafts and watch Hulu or Netflix.
Oh, I love that.
This Is Us.
Girl, I cannot get into This Is Us.
Okay, sorry.
No, not in a bad way. It's just I've tried, and then I just have so many shows to catch up on. And then the last one is, what is the best advice you've received?
I've received. There is no bigger obstacle in your life than yourself.
Oh, I like that.
Said by my madre.
Your mama? Mm-hmm. Who is your hero?
Yes.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Christine. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the listeners? I know we talked for a long time. Oh, how about you drop your handles and where people can read your blog?
Oh my gosh. Well, you can catch me on ckm113.wordpress.com. It's going under construction soon, but catch me on there.
Awesome. You don't have to give people your Instagram
I was about
handle.
to say, I usually don't.
That's fine.
Drop that stuff. But I'm actually starting a Facebook page for my writing, because that is my creative outlet.
Hopefully by the time this episode airs, I'll have that information. I could put it in the show notes.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Sounds good.
Good. Well, I hope that you guys really enjoyed my conversation today with Christine. She is a really, really dear friend of mine, and I'm so happy to see her in this next journey. And I'll be following you on all the social media things to see all your beautiful pictures, because she takes really good pictures of food.
This is my favorite thing.
And thank you guys so much for listening to the Basic Latina podcast. You can find us on Instagram at Basic Latina Podcast. You can also send us your questions, concerns, or any kind of letters that you would like to write to the host or any of our guests at basiclatinapodcast@gmail.com. Well, not at, but you know what I mean. We hope to have a listener letter episode at some point during the season. So if I have a good amount of letters, then I can start answering some of your questions on air. But again, you can kind of go to the Instagram or go directly to the email to reach myself or anyone else about any questions or concerns. And you can rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud. And make sure to write a review or rate our podcast, because the more ratings and reviews we have, the more visibility we get. And visibility is everything. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.